Good afternoon, this is RFC Maki here, with not a flight report this time, but instead a compilation of kills. I've been flying for the past few weeks the Hurricane Mark 1 late. That is a low-tier plane with a lot of challenges. I've been flying in realistic battles, and I typically always feel like I am being up-tiered, even though I may not be. That's because the Hurricane Mark 1 late is a slow plane. It does not climb quickly. It is definitely not fast. I often get outrun by bombers. The armor is not particularly good. Just a few hits is enough to do some serious damage on your plane. And so you really have to fly smart and careful with this plane. It's taken me a while in order to work out a decent strategy, but even then, I don't get kills most games. In fact, I may get a kill every 3 or 4 or 5 games. I'm not the best pilot. I'm still working hard to become a better pilot in the game. And you may notice I do lock myself to cockpit views, so that does put me at a little bit of a disadvantage. I find that my best kills come from first being able to have an altitude advantage. I mostly go after bombers, and since bombers start the game at a very high altitude, you also have to spend your time early in the game climbing. This means it means not racing to the middle of the battlefield. It means instead that often I will circle my own airfield and try to maximize how quickly I climb while at the same time managing my heat. So getting high up is important. Usually I find that up to about 6,000 or 7,000 feet is the appropriate altitude for being able to approach bombers as they come in. And even then, you'll notice in a few of these shots I'm actually below the bombers themselves. Then the trick is, in order to sit behind the bombers or get behind the bombers if you can, and then not take too much damage. You'll notice in a lot of these kills, there I am taking a lot of damage to my nose. And a few of them, I take so much damage I have to try to race home. Every once in a while, I do find myself in a position to kill a fighter, but probably mostly because the pilot puts himself in a bad position. This little segment here involves me going after a P-40, and usually the P-40s outclimb, out-turn, and outshoot me, but this guy was coming off of a low attack. He's rising. He's actually not, he's lost all of his speed, so you'll notice that even though I'm in a Hurricane, I'm actually gaining on the guy, but you do see in this segment that it's very difficult to turn with enemies. I do have a high altitude working with me, and I can use that in order to gain some energy, but here the guy dips his nose, so I have to roll over and follow, but even then I'm much more slow than he is. I'm lagging behind. You'll see a few of my teammates there trying to get a few pot shots off of the guy as well. I've gotten a hit, which is good, but yeah, as you notice, I'm not climbing nearly as fast. I'm not looping nearly as fast as he is. It's taken me a while to get up there, and you notice I've got my WEP slammed on, so about the only way I can pull this frightening loop. I've lost a lot of velocity there, but there we go, coming back around again. Fortunately, this guy makes a mistake, and he turns back to climb, and I anticipate that, so I'm able to climb with him. Get a bunch of hits here, but he's lost all of his energy, and I make the greedy mistake of not turning, and I did not get awarded the kill, even though I did kill him. I did not get awarded that kill because I collided with him, so I don't usually get very many fighter kills. Most of my kills come from bombers. I do have my guns set to probably too close for most of these battles, so I've got them set for about 350 meters, and you'll notice a lot of the distances that I'm hitting these planes from is about 700 or so I definitely have to adjust that a little bit if I'm going to keep flying the Hurricane. What I do like about the Hurricane is that it is a very stable platform. It doesn't wobble around a whole lot, and it's actually quite easy to shoot with compared to been flying the Spitfire lately, and it's very easy to fly compared to the Spitfire, which rolls a lot more tightly, and it pitches and dives a little bit more easily than the Hurricane does. Speaking of pitching and diving, I've also noticed that I really have to manage my speed. Once you start getting fast, like you notice here, I'm at 450, 470 kilometers an hour. That does then make it very difficult to turn if you're going too quickly, and it does make it very difficult to drop your nose if an enemy plane drops down, so that does make it a challenge. Here, trying some deflection shooting, see if I can't get this 111. Most of my kills lately seem to be 111s or so. In fact, if I see one, I start drooling because that's my best chance of getting a kill. This guy was not going to go down, having a hard time turning to keep up with him. I've taken a few big hits there. And here, I get a critical hit, which isn't enough to bring him down. And I've had more than one bomber take critical hits and then limp their way home. So I was really desperate not to let, even though this guy looks like he's going down, I was desperate not to let him get away with it. So I followed him down to the ground, knowing darn well that was going to put me at a disadvantage. And once he's down, I try to fire a few extra shots just to make sure, but I think he hits the ground before my bullets ever arrive. So I did get that kill. This kill was interesting. I was just trying to play dummy for a bandit, but he flew right at me, thinking me an easy kill. I got enough hits on him to get a critical, but the guy that I was trying to dummy for is chasing him up into the sky. And I thought for sure that I was going to at least just get a shared kill or let this guy get the kill. And somehow that bandit, even when he was climbing, his plane eventually petered out, he exploded, and I got the kill. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. I'll see you guys next time.